5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. It's Amanda Bella here, and it is Sunday, March 8th, International Women's Day. What a better day to be back on the mic, chatting it up with you guys. Now, I know, okay, first of all, vulnerable post, okay? Vulnerable post, vulnerable segment, vulnerable moment with just between me and the Bellas here. Like, it's been tough. It's so weird. Like, I don't usually battle with depression, and I think it's a mixture of like seasonal depression, and then also we're going through the renovations of our house still. So it's been extremely hard to live here. And I feel like not autonomous over my own home, you know, because there's like men in here working every day, and it's just hard with Candy, and we've done a lot of traveling. I mean, I would love to go back and listen to some of my episodes like end of 2025. I probably was like, yeah, we're not going to be traveling at all. We're about to like stay put. We've been doing more traveling than ever. Okay, it's March 8th, and I've already went on that cruise to the Caribbean and to Mexico. Then we went to Costa Rica. Then I went to California for 2.5 weeks, which, you guys, I know that I recorded out there. I recorded my episode out there already. Okay, what day did I put that out? Because I can't even tell you. Like, again, it is a mixture of like, I don't want to say the D word. Like, it's not depression. I would say I feel like suppressed to make content, suppressed to stay consistent, suppressed to be like as creatively motivated. And it's like a little bit of like a writer's block, like a little bit of a content creation block. I think it's because there's so much TV on that it's like, how do you talk about everything? And then you start to feel just overwhelmed. Basically, I just feel overwhelmed. And, you know, that is something that's very real and very, like I said, vulnerable, for lack of a better word, because I would love to get on here and get on this mic and just always be like a beacon of positivity. And like, usually I am, but it is just tough out here. Like, I don't know if it is just war that we're in, or if it is the state of the nation, if it is just, you know, you can't even watch. It's so sad. Like award season, not that it's like I usually really do enjoy award season. I grew up really with my mom watching every single red carpet. We watched every single award show. We would always watch Fashion Police and discuss, like, we were just super into like carpet culture, my mom and I. And so like I usually love award season, but even with the Grammys and stuff, and like not being able to really enjoy it because like then everything that happened with the Super Bowl, and it's just been a lot. It's just been a really like hard time to try to find joy. But I was talking to some of my other girlfriends, you know, shout out to my Bravo content creation like support group basically that I'm in, where they're like, girl, like your content is bringing joy to people's lives. Like you have to just remember that. And I don't think of that myself. Like I don't think of myself as like an entertainer or a performer by any means. Like I know that this is a form of entertainment. I know that when I listen to podcasts all day, I'm being entertained. I'm laughing out loud. I'm having a great old time. So I hope people get the same experience when they're listening to my show. It's just been hard to pick up the mic the last week and a half or so since I was in California. So I feel like I spoke to you guys already about my first trip to SUR when I went with my husband and we had brunch, and Kim was my server. Audrey was being the host. That was a super fun day when we went to Tom Tom, and that was amazing. But then I went back to SUR the night that they had the finale episode, and the whole staff was there. Jason was serving me goat cheese balls, and Chris was there, which I think I like Jason more out of the incest twins. They're so lovingly called. I really enjoy both of them. Natalie, I finally got to meet and speak to both at SUR, and then again later in the week. And then just meeting, like I was a little bit intimidated to talk to Shane or Marcus, but then eventually I did meet Marcus. So yeah, I went to the Watch What Crappens Golden Crappy Awards, and that was also so fun. And I got to really make some new friends and some like West Coast, I feel like it's like an alliance you have with like the content creators between the East Coast and the West Coast. And like, I want to know everybody and just have the biggest network ever. It's very, very rare that I meet somebody that I don't like that is a content creator. And it is what it is too. Like, I know some people like don't like being called that. Like, what do you want me to say? Blogger, like Instagrammer? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but it is just the group that I identify with. And I got to really spend time with Kate Riccio. I'm going to put everybody's information in the show notes, but I'm sure everybody that's listening to me probably already knows these people. But if not, please go listen to Kate Riccio. Like, I was a little intimidated by her. She could not be nicer. She's just really a girl's girl, a fun person to be around. And I enjoy her energy and her company. Zachary Reality was another person I was super intimidated by and like just felt like I was like kind of unapproachable. I was so wrong. We spent time together at Sir and at the Crappies, and it was so fun. And his content is so good, and he's so confident in the way he's able to just interview like on the street, on the fly. And I'm just soaking up other people's energy too and like their creative vibes and trying to, it's like if you can't, what's the word? Like you have to like hang around the business you want to keep. Is that what it is? Like, what does that say? You are the business you keep, or you are the company you keep, or something like that. Anyways, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to surround myself with people that are doing the things that I am trying to also do. And then we could all build each other up, support each other. And yeah, so keep an ear out for some people to be coming on the pod still too. I'm not done having guests on. I just had a major crash out / Mercury retrograde, like coming back from California between the time change and all the things going on at our house and trying to handle things back here. Like, I'm basically a project manager for this construction site. And so I've just been really busy with this, and it's been really stressful, and it's been really hard to like, when I don't even find joy in watching the shows. Like, you want to know what's been the most appointment television for me right now is Beverly Hills. Like, I cannot get enough of that boring ass show. It is so bad. It's terrible season. It's awful. It's a 0 out of 10, but I am 7:59. I'm seated. Like, it's coming on and I cannot miss a minute of it. I had to pick up my husband from the airport because he had to go for a 1-day trip. So I like in one day I had to go to the airport and back twice, which is, kind of rough. And I was watching Beverly Hills like live on my Spectrum app, like setting in my dash. Like, that's how much I didn't want to miss it because I had to drive to the airport. So I don't know why I'm so down bad still for Beverly Hills, but I'm still watching. It's not going to be. So we're doing a true to form Bella Talks TV episode today, you guys. So happy. It's been a minute, but let's do my top 5 countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments. Also, my OMG and LOL moments of the week, maybe about like the last month or so, maybe. No, like I said, it hasn't been that long since I put an episode out. It just feels like a long time since I've talked to you guys. It's only been 2 weeks, maybe. But yeah, you guys, let's get into it. What are you guys watching? Please leave a comment. Let me know what you're watching, what shows you're enjoying. And if you're on Spotify too, I would love if you're listening on Spotify to leave a comment and engage there with my profile on Spotify. Help me get noticed. Help me with my 5-star reviews, rate, review, share all of the things, you guys, please. It's truly keeping me going and like no pressure, but I really like need this right now. I really, really need this creative outlet and this space to come to. And like, I cannot allow myself to crash out and deactivate my Instagram and give up on the pod. And just like, sometimes there are times when like, it's like my dues are due for the month, basically, where I pay for Riverside, I pay for Buzzsprout, like I pay for my Apple Podcasts subscription so that it puts me on Apple Podcasts and like I can chart with the podcast. Like, there is money that goes into this show that I put on, and I obviously don't make a dollar from it. And not that I've ever expected to, nor do I'm not going to say I never want to, because that's just like bad manifesting, right? Like, you should never not want to make money from something. Hello, Amanda Francis, like money queen. You love money. You're supposed to love it, not have any shame or guilt around it. Be totally deserving of it. Be like, I'm giving an entertaining and valuable show, and I should be able to make money at least on ads, which is the goal for like by the end of 2026. I should at least start monetizing the pod a little bit. But it's really hard. Like, my imposter syndrome has been through the roof. I have not felt so fraudulent before. Like, I just have felt out of my own body, and like I created Bella Talks TV like almost as an alter ego, but like it really is still me. And I want to make sure I'm not like having like a disconnect from my real opinions on here, because Just like Amanda said, summer house, repping my summer house sweatshirt tonight. Honestly, my favorite sweatshirt right now is Amanda just talking about like, okay, even with Kyle, she felt like the fans told her to leave him so many times that like eventually she started to be like, I need to listen. Like, what am I missing here? Should I be leaving him? And that's like your own voices, you can just talk yourself into it. Like if you hear something or you feel something enough times, you just start to think it's true. And just trying to stay mentally active and mentally part of this community. And I just get so much back from being part of the Bravo content creation community and like having all of these events to go to and keeping up with the times and keeping up with appearances and going to networking things. And even, I just get proud of myself. Like I got really proud of myself that I went out to LA. Essentially, I wasn't by myself, but with my husband, but he wasn't coming with me to these like Bravo events. But essentially going out there and like having the confidence to know, look, okay, I do know people out here and we're acquaintances, but maybe we'll be friends by the end of this trip. And like that is what happened. Like Yana Firestone, my girl Yana, who I really, really adore and appreciate. Like I've never had somebody who I felt like I've shared a brain with so much as like Yana. And I just really appreciate them. Like there's no other word. Ryan Bailey, I got to see him at the Crappies. Like it feels so good when you run into someone. Like who's spam calling me literally at 7:50 on a Sunday night? Like that should be illegal. That should be freaking illegal. And I know I should be on Do Not Disturb, but I get scared of that sometimes. So yeah, buckle up because this is going to be a true to form again, Bella Talks TV episode. I have nowhere to be tonight and I have a list of shit I need to talk about with you guys. So let's take a quick break here and then we'll get into my OMG and LOL moments of the week. Okay, you guys, so welcome back. Let's get right into my OMG moment of the week. So this actually happened a couple of weeks ago, but out of just respect and shock and also just feeling a little depressed last week, I really didn't want to talk. I was not ready to talk about it, but we have got to talk about the sudden passing of Robert Cosby Jr. Now, unfortunately, Robert was just released from jail, which he went away for violating his court orders, I believe. I believe that he was caught. Like I don't even want to like misspeak about the legal parts of it, but whatever. Robert basically got in trouble and he had to do some time because of this. And Mary was actually happy because, and I know this feeling, like if you know anybody that you've dealt with that has addiction problems or is somebody who just like if you have a family member that is just someone, it might not even be drugs, it might just be someone who financially can't support themselves or they just have something, or maybe they're disabled. We kind of all know somebody in our family that needs a little bit more help than everybody else and has like something, kind of going on personally. It's just part of life. It's part of family. And with Robert Cosby Jr., he really was brought into this world into quite a precarious situation. His mother at the time, I mean, where Mary Cosby and like Robert Sr. were in their acquisition of Mama's church after she passed, and Mary's mom not getting the church, I am not afraid to bring up the Mary Cosby cult documentary up in the same sentence as we're talking about Robert Cosby's passing, because I just think that it would be ignorant to not say that his personal life did not create extra stress in his life. Being old enough now he was only, I believe, 23 at the time he passed. And, when you're younger and you're growing up, you don't really understand everything, like adult stuff. Like he probably didn't really fully understand what went on with his mom and his dad and his grandma and everybody, until he got older. And Mary talked a lot about how she decided to bring Robert to New York for school. He went to like a prep school, a private school in New York for 8 years. Mary said that she relocated here with him. Now he's 23 now, and we know that they haven't lived in New York for at least the last 4 years. So that's like from when he was like 19. And 8 years, like 11. So let's just say roughly between the ages of 10 to 18 years old, Mary and Robert Cosby Jr. were spending time in New York. Now, for them to move back to Utah, she's taking on the church, opening the church, being the face of the church. Even though the church has been open this whole time, she wasn't always there, I think, like running it. And they're in New York. She's really focused on family for a while. It sounds like Robert Cosby Sr. has properties in Florida and in Vegas and maybe like Wyoming. He's got houses in different area codes. And it just seems like they weren't really like a family unit very often. It was mostly just Mary and Robert. And Robert was Mary's only child. It was just a very, very codependent, twisted family story. Very layered, very nuanced, and very different than there's not anyone else's story that's like theirs. So they're a bit of a pariah. And when Robert, I think, he gets old enough to realize these things, especially at the time that Mary gets casted on the show. So if the show's been on for how many years? What year? Let's see. Salt Lake City season 1, 2020. Okay, yeah, I do remember. It aired November 2020, which means it filmed probably the year before. I'm trying to think what the pandemic going on, like exactly what happened, but whatever. I digress. In 2020, so if that was 7 years ago and he was 23, he was 16. So he was like in high school when Mary got cast on the show and everything got exposed about, the step grandpa of it all and just the cult of it all. It's just a very tragic thing, but it's real stuff that happened. And it again goes back to making decisions as a parent, as a human. I understand we are all human. None of us are perfect. Only God can judge us, whatever we want to tell ourselves. But at the end of the day, like, you have a responsibility as a parent. And I'm just not sure if Robert Cosby was equipped with the tools to deal with the magnitude of the life that was given to him, that was bestowed upon him, being birthed into this family. So it obviously was a lot of pressure. He started experimenting with drugs, using drugs in high school, and he got married, didn't tell Mary, to Alexiana, his wife, that petitioned for divorce, which caused Robert Cosby to go to Alexiana's family home where she lives with her parents. I wasn't going to tell this part of the story, but I'm going to do it because, again, these are all just facts and it's important to understand everything and everybody can kind of make their own judgments. But Robert climbed in the doggy door of Alexiana's family home because they wouldn't answer the door. He was basically intruding in the home, breaking and entering. These are the reasons why he ended up going to jail and being jailed. And, there was just unwanted contact when they decided, they were married, they were using. And I think when one person decides to stop using and the other one doesn't, there's a lot of conflict. They were legally married. There was a lot of there was a lot that needed to be handled. He had kind of a long road ahead of him. He was not out of the woods. He's just getting out of jail. He's got to go through this divorce. He's got to grapple with his sobriety, and if he's going to be successful in that. He's gone to treatment. He was just really struggling. I have a lot of empathy, and I'm not somebody who buries my head in the sand when it comes to these matters. I'm really actually somebody who wants to find solutions and help people and like not turn my eye away from things and not want to deal with it. So it's just really hard to see that this is how things happened in the end. But again, it's not coming from a judgment place. It's just coming from a very sad, matter of fact place. And if you know anybody like this in your life, I really urge you to keep in contact with them. Tell them that they're worthy. Tell them that you are there to help them. And if you can't help them, that you'll help them get the resources that they need. Like, people really need somebody to talk to. And I think that maybe if he had siblings, maybe if he had more of just a network, maybe if he hadn't been isolated and put in these private schools, like, he just didn't have a really good support system, and he had a lot of stressors and environmental factors that he was dealing with. And I just wish that there could have been more of an intervention and a life saved. So unfortunately, we did lose Robert to a suspected overdose. Whether or not that was accidental, that's between Robert Cosby and I watch a lot of medium shows. And a lot of the times when the mediums are having these spirits come through that die from an overdose, they do take responsibility. And they do usually express whether or not it was an accident. And there are times when people do say that it was. But there's also a lot of times these spirits come through and they're like, no, I knew what I was doing and I regret it. And there are a lot of stories. I mean, this is so dark, you guys. We're going to get into so much other stuff, but I did have to discuss this. And part of me is like kind of scared that I've like blacked out and I've already discussed this on a previous episode and I don't remember. So I apologize, but like that's obviously still sticking with me and I needed to talk about it more. But yeah, that was really my OMG moment of the week. Now they're filming. Mary took a week off. They were supposed to start filming the day after this happened. I believe it was a Monday and cameras were picking up Tuesday and they postponed, but Mary insisted that they start working again. She wants to go back to having structure, keep her mind off of it. I kind of see that. I know that she's going to get tons of support from the ladies and she's probably going to have a really good, easy season. It's good that she has these ladies. Like, this is kind of the point I was making about Robert Cosby Jr. Like, if he had a friend group like this, that he knew that even in bad times, that he knew even when they might be enemies, frenemies, whatever, you don't think Meredith is not going to be there for Mary, even though they fought last season? Like, it's going to be good to see the women come together this season. It really puts things in perspective. Like, I've had my own family members that I've been scared of every day of losing, and it is just, it's triggering. It's scary. It's the first time we've really seen something like this to this magnitude, where we've actually had the child, there's been children of Real Housewives that have struggled with drugs, addiction, gone to rehab and passed away, but not like this. We saw Robert Cosby intimately, and it was like a big loss. So I just want to let everybody know. And if you are somebody like you don't know who to talk to, please get into my DMs or please email me even at bellatalkstv@gmail.com. Whatever you need, whatever I can do to help you, I will. It's weird. Like, I have a very weird thing that I click into. It's like, it's just survival mode. And it's weird around death in general. I don't know what it is. I have a very weird thing about death. And that makes it very easy for me to talk about, which is the point I'm trying to make, is that, a lot of people don't want to talk about these things. And I'm willing to talk about it. Dying is part of life, and it is so strange and crazy and scary, but like, we have to talk about it. So, okay, let's totally switch gears. And that is the reason why I do OMG and LOL, because it's like, okay, it's a spectrum. We're talking about the peaks of the week, and we're talking about the pits. All right. So we have to kind of go over everything, but let's get into my LOL moment of the weeks. Again, rest in peace, Robert Cosby Jr. And just know everybody really loved you and you're not suffering anymore. Thank God. Okay, you guys, again, moving on. LOL moment of the week. So my LOL moment of the week, I really hope you guys have been able to start watching the House of Villains season. Is this season 4? Or are we on season 3? No, it's season 3. House of Villains season 3. And it's so good. It is so good. So they dropped the first 3 episodes on Peacock, and then we've already had one other new episode come out, and it's Kate Chastain, Drita DeVanzo. It is Tyson from Survivor, Tom Sandoval, Tiffany from New York, of course, Christine Quinn from Selling Sunset, Johnny from Love Island, Ashley from The Challenge, and there was not Tammy from Basketball Wives, but she was the first one out. And then there's Paul from Big Brother. So it's a very Traitors-like show where they're getting all people from all these different networks and shows, these famous villains, and putting them in a house together. They make them do challenges, and then every challenge leads to the super villain of the week. The super villain of the week gets to decide the 3 people that are going to be up for elimination that week. And then those 3 people have to compete in another challenge to redeem themselves. The bottom 2 go up for elimination, and then there's a house vote, kind of like Survivor, to get one person out. So it's been really, really good so far. I love watching Drita. Drita is just not having anybody's bullshit. She absolutely hates Tom Sandoval, and don't we all? But I'm not going to lie, you guys, his delusion and annoyingness and like nerdiness does make me laugh. He's never self-aware, which is again what made him such a good reality TV star. And I'm low-key obsessed with the fact that we really get the chance to kind of see him in this new lens from the House of Villains, because I feel like with Vanderpump Rules, he was always getting like a hero's edit for some reason, and was always just getting the good edit, always looking like he could do no wrong, always looking like he was just, so self-righteous, right? And now he's in this House of Villains, and he's with all these people that are just like, no, Tom, we're not dealing with this. But okay, so he's the first one to arrive in the house, and he's in Everyone comes up and they get dropped off in these like, black SUVs, like Uber X's or whatever, Uber Blacks. They're pulling up to the House of Villains mansion. And then Tom is in the back seat, like rehearsing his lines. And he's like, oh, what have we come to? And then he's like, oh, House of Villains, have we come to this? And then he's like, House of Villains, what have we come to here? And he's trying to practice what he's going to say when he gets out of the limo. It's just such a classic Tom Sandoval moment. It's actually howling. I was like, rah! Like, I thought it was so insane. I'm like, this guy, he never learns. He never just like, does he not think? Is he forget the cameras? Is he not used to being on reality TV now that he like forgets? I don't know what he's thinking. Like once you have that mic on, he's insane. So anyways, he gets into the house and he's very, very lucky that he makes a friend with Tyson from Survivor pretty quickly. Like, not a lot of people like Tyson and not a lot of people like Tom. So they're kind of banding together and they're rooming together. But then in the first challenge of the week, Tyson wins the supervillain and he gets to actually have like the supervillain suite, which is a special room with no roommates. And Tom tells Tyson he would prefer it if Tyson didn't take the supervillain suite because Victoria would be mad if by chance then Tyson isn't his roommate and a girl, which was actually going to be Drita from Mob Wives, gets roomed with Tom. So you're telling me Victoria Lee Robinson, Tom Sandoval's girlfriend, is got this man on such a tight leash that even when he goes on these reality TV shows like Traders, whatever, etc., he's not allowed to room with a girl. I kind of like love this. I really like, I hate girls that act like that. But when it comes to Tom Sandoval, yes, castrate him. I love that he's got fear in his eyes. Like he was like, oh my God, no, I don't know what my girlfriend would think of this. Like this might not be good. It really kind of gave me life. And it really had me laughing because in the news this week, it recirculated because Tom was on Watch What Happens Live promoting House of Villains. Messy Andy had to ask him what went on at BravoCon because there were Page Six. I love how Page Six grubby little fingers were all over like BravoCon gossip. I loved it. But there were pictures of 2:30 in the morning in the Four Seasons hotel lobby, Sandoval and Victoria Robinson fighting or speaking loudly and sternly to each other. And then Lindsay Hubbard in the middle of them, shoeless, inebriated, breaking them up. Now, I forgot about that story. That was one of my favorite stories that came out of BravoCon. And you guys remember I like Lindsay Hubbard again, which is crazy. Trust me, I know. But I'm now looking back and laughing at this story because Lindsay's like, no, this is ridiculous. And I actually am thinking that Lindsay did just walk up and like try to be friends with them. And Victoria apparently does not want Tom talking to literally any other woman on the planet Earth. Can she blame him? Because we know Tom will lie right to your face and fuck your best friend without even you knowing it. So she has all the reason to not trust Tom, but I think it's so funny watching him squirm on this show and he's like afraid of her reacting. Then when he was on Watch What Happens Live, she's like in the Oprah chair. She's always right there. She's fucking not letting him out of her sight. And I love it. I love it. I hope she's torturing him. I hope it's every day like an ant with a magnifying glass. Victoria's like burning Sandoval. I'm not over it. I love Ariana so much. Going back to the Golden Crappies for a second, she was there with Dan. I was breathing the same air again as Ariana Maddox. The entire new VPR cast was there and they were also mingling. And when I met Natalie, I asked her, I was like, hey girl, I got to ask you, I got to get some like boots on the ground right now. How was Ariana backstage to you and to the rest of the new VPR crew? Like I have to know. And she said that Ariana was nothing but lovely and that she was supportive of the cast, happy to not be on the show anymore, happy for them to take over the title. So I was really, really happy to hear that because if I would have heard Ariana was mean girling, I would have not been happy because I don't like mean girls. All right. We like girls. We like fun girls and girls that include everybody. I get very triggered by girls that are just rude for no reason and that don't extend their hand when they meet you and stuff. Like I'm very weird like that, you guys. Like I'm a Midwest queen. I want everybody saying hello to each other. I want to make sure we all did an icebreaker and we're all comfortable. Like I will not stand in a circle with people who like don't acknowledge other people's presence. Drives me nuts. So, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the LOL moment of the week is Sandoval being in the House of Villains, being tortured, and also just not still having any idea how to be like likable. Like he has just became a shell of his former self and it's not a good shell. it's like a desperate shell that's clinging on to what once was. And he's not the same man. It's empty in those eyes. It's not, there's fear and anxiety just still seeping from him. He got a little bit of confidence back after Traders, like at BravoCon. He was being very cocky, bringing the doll around, like singing to everybody, thinking he was really did a big one with that. But overall, I was really loving House of Villains. I loved the idea that he was afraid to room with Drita. I love just Drita's overall energy. I love that Christine is really bad at the game and just an idiot. She's kind of like the Mora of the house, so maybe she ends up going to almost win. And I just really enjoy the show. So it's on Peacock now, and they talk about that a lot. They're like, "Woo, we upped the budget," and Peacock is really doing their big one with this. Okay, so let's keep getting into it here, you guys. Let's move into my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. So again, this is a true Bella Talks TV true to form episode, because we're not just talking about our most talked moments of reality TV shows of the week. We have got to talk about our most talked about moments of reality TV gossip of the week, okay? Which includes everything that goes on online and everything that gets dug up on Reddit and everything that comes to surface. And one of my favorite things to ever resurface this week, okay, it's a little mixture. You know, I like to do a little sprinkle, but overall, the number 5 most talked about moment of the week is the resurfacing of Paige DeSorbo, Joe D'Amelio, and Teresa Giudice. Yes, a love triangle of the ages. So let's get into it. I had forgot about this as well, and I was so happy when this came back up. So we've been talking for a while, and when I talk about I'm talking about me. I've been talking for about a year and 2 months now, well, 3 months, about Craig and Paige breaking up, you know, for literally over a year. And I knew from the beginning, because the way that they broke up, you guys remember the cheating rumors began immediately. And it was because of the way that the breakup got handled. So they technically broke up over like Thanksgiving, right? Like Thanksgiving, that was when they kind of broke it off, right? We remember not seeing Craig at Paige's family home in Albany, and everybody was knowing that something was up, okay? But they didn't confirm anything right away. Things started swirling. And then Christmas came along, and they weren't together on Christmas Eve. So it was in between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve that it was confirmed that they had broken up. I believe it was actually on the 30th. Technically, was the day, December 30th. So, because we all remember not seeing Craig Thanksgiving, Christmas, they're not together. What the fuck? Then we knew New Year's Eve was coming up. We knew that they weren't going to be together on New Year's Eve. They for sure weren't going to be together. And so they knew it. We knew it. We all knew they were not together anymore. We were just waiting for them to confirm. And then we got that little Instagram story of Craig sitting on the stoop, remember, looking down at the camera to a terrible angle. And there he was confirming, yes, me and Paige have split. We are going to remain friends. He really wanted to remain amicable. I think he really thought there was a chance that they could maybe get back together. But Paige is the reason why they had to break up. It wasn't Craig's choice. Of course, Craig was like thinking they would get back together. Paige knew. Paige knew the second that she finally got rid of him on that first holiday that she was like, okay, finally, like a little bit of room, a little bit of like gas was let out. Like she was like, oh, okay, like feeling a little more comfortable now, because I think she was really starting to be like, okay, shit, the holidays are coming up and I really don't want to be with this guy. And she obviously knew Joe at this time. So I believe, I mean, this is all speculation. Okay, so Paige and Joe, my real speculation, I think, is she obviously met him at an event or something. I would imagine just in the fall sometime. Like, I'm not even going to speculate about a certain thing like Halloween, or like, I think it had to be something obviously in the time from Summer House ending their filming, which was in September. I think at the time she was leaving, knew that she was not going to be coming back. So she just already, you don't have that like accountability. Like if you're not coming back to the show and you're not part of the friend group anymore, I don't think she felt that pressure to stay with Craig or to stay relevant in that scene anymore. So I imagine while her and Craig are getting their distance, she's not going down to Charleston anymore. He's not coming up to visit her. She's soft launching them breaking up. She meets Joe, or is somehow an acquaintance to him, and meets him. And I literally want to get a private investigator about this guy. it actually, when I hear people say, oh my God, that guy's like a billionaire and he's got so, I'm like, I'm really not trying to sound pretentious or like a hater, but making like, even just making $400,000 a year, very respectable, but you're not a billionaire if you make that much money. Like, I don't think he is that rich and successful. I could be wrong. I need to get like a valuation of this guy. I need to get, again, a private investigator. I need to really find out the real Joe D'Amelio. But basically, Paige worked the Screen Actors Guild, the Actor Awards. It was streaming on Netflix, and she was chosen as one of the red carpet hosts, influencer. But now you guys know that she has her SAG card. If you don't know how the Screen Actors Guild works, it's basically like the union for all of the actors, and they get insurance through SAG, they get, opportunities through SAG, but you have to pay your dues and you have to be part of like this membership. It's basically like a members club for actors. By Paige getting representation, I'm not sure who's she's represented by, but when you have a manager and you have PR and they help get you these opportunities, and you pay them 10% or whatever, or you pay them a yearly fee or whatever it is, you have these relationships with people that like get you into these things. Now, whoever got Paige the part that's coming up in The Devil Wears Prada 2, fucking genius. I can't hate ever on like the actual work that Paige does. It's just who she is socially that I don't like. No knock to her career and really like any of the work that she does. Even her Amazon show, I'm like, that's sick. I love that. I would love to have an Amazon show like that. Like, that's in bed with Amanda Bella. Like, I'm literally in bed right now. I could be doing it. Like, who wants to get in bed with me and chat? I would love to do that. I cannot hate on that. But I just, again, like, don't like the way that she moves in her personal life. So that's my problem. But Paige meets Joe somewhere. Now, it was rumored that they were spending time together around the city and were seen together. But I believe it was confirmed, actually, if not just through Dumois, if Paige herself, somebody, I want to say, saw them, or Paige said herself that she was at Zero Bond for New Year's Eve, which is again a members only lounge, kind of like Soho House, kind of like some of these other places. These members only clubs are really becoming a part of. I'm like, is this just something you learn when you're an adult? Like, I'm almost 40 now and I'm learning like people just all join clubs. I thought country clubs were like one thing, but no, there's all kinds of clubs you can join as an adult, and you just pay money, and there's bars and clubs and events that go on. And I'm definitely going to join a club, is what I'm trying to say. I cannot wait to be part of some crazy club. But I'd love to start a club. I don't even know how you would do that. But basically, Paige and Joe obviously are either both members or guests of members that were there at Zero Bond on New Year's Eve. And that's when it really sparked up for them. I think that's when they like probably hooked up and took their relationship to the next level, because it was pretty much from that point on, like, she was with Joe. Like, I remember the Super Bowl was February. So remember, they broke up New Year's Eve. This is only February, whatever. So it's maybe 5 weeks, 6 weeks after they broke up, she was with Joe at the Super Bowl. And they've been spotted all the time since then at Jersey Shore, in Florida, in New York, at other sporting events. Like, they've been together now for over a year. But basically, yeah, that's really all I had to say about Paige and Joe. But Paige gets selected to be on this Actor Awards carpet because she's in part of SAG now, because she was in Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm like, keep up. She gets to be on the red carpet and basically confirmed her relationship with Joe. I believe she said his name on the carpet and even said something like, yeah, me and Joe do that. Or, she's essentially just confirming. Now, there were even rumors this bitch was pregnant last week because she decided to do a white puffer peplum type of thing, which was not great. Paige is on the Screen Actor Guild's carpet. She confirms that she's dating Joe, but she also like looks pregnant, which ended up, a couple of people said it was the dress choice. And then it's also the masseter Botox that she did. And like, luckily, I mean, you guys, obviously my face isn't perfect. It's asymmetrical. I'm a natural beauty. I'm not pucked and plumped and filled to the gods. So it is what it is. But I just try to, I'm not trying to talk about women's looks in a negative way. And I know that it's really not cool to be talking about girls, be speculating about pregnancy and stuff, but like, it is what it is. And I've had this conversation 1,000 times. Like, there of course is a piece of me that for 5 seconds was like, oh my God, like if she actually was pregnant with Joe's baby, like that would be bigger than Scandival to me. Like just the timeline and the overlap and he would just be iconic. I don't really think it is true, obviously, but I just again love scandal and love controversy and would love for it to be true. But I just love a good scandal. So anyways, that was really my top 5 most talked about moment of the week was Paige being on the red carpet, her looking pregnant, her confirming that she is with Joe. And then how did I almost forget? This is the best part of the story that it resurfaced that Joe D'Amelio, yes, Paige DeSorbo's boyfriend, used to have some kind of a relationship with Teresa Giudice because they were able to come back and look at all of their interactions online and they're sending fire emojis to each other. Teresa's talking about them needed to spend time together. Something was going on there. Something was going on there. And I do not know how I feel about this, you guys. Like, is Joe a secret clout chaser? Does he specifically want to be with a girl that is on reality TV? Does he just want to be with an Italian girl? Joe D'Amelio was allegedly engaged when he met Paige and when they started their relationship, and Paige was called out by the ex-fiance and screenshots almost came out and they didn't. And I'm wondering still to this day, where are the screenshots? I want to see the screenshots. I need to see the dates, the timestamps on those dates when Paige and Joe were DMing. Oh, there are so many things out there. There's so many things, you guys, so many mysteries that we will never know. But I was really living for all of that. Like the internet's reaction to the fact that Joe and Teresa had some kind of a relationship, fucking blowing my mind. And Paige being basically potential Eskimo sisters with Teresa. That's insane, you guys. Even Paige herself has got to be mortified. She's got to be mortified. Like if I found out, I don't even know. If my husband had like hooked up with Dorinda or something, what if I showed him a picture of Dorinda and he was like, oh yeah, I met that girl at like Boutique one night. Wasn't that a place called Boutique or whatever? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's take another quick break. I promise we will get through this episode, but I hope you guys are having fun because I'm already having a great time. All right, let's just take a quick break. And we're back. I almost forgot to pick up my mic. I wanted to tell you guys a quick story too. I absolutely had to go to Erewhon, like especially with the resurgence of the Valley Persian style and all of the talk of Erewhon. When I was in LA those couple of weeks, I went to Erewhon and I paid $65 for this hat. I actually used a gift card I got for Christmas because I thought that was so insane, but I just wanted to get it like out of principle. Like this is worse than the $28 strawberry was the $68 Erewhon hat, but I fucking love it. And I even kept like a couple other little souvenirs from there, like the jar I got my trail mix in and even the bag that I got, like the drink carrier. Like I'm obsessed with Erewhon and I love bougie crazy shit too. So I was all about it. Okay, anyways, so I really enjoyed Erewhon and I really enjoyed the Valley Persian style. I think Gigi, MJ, and Reza, all three of them are still severely unhinged and are unwell. And I think they're fascinating people. But again, I'm not sure I'm aspiring to be anybody on the Valley Persian style right now. Like they're all insane. They're all insane. Okay, for some reason also, like my lights keep flickering on and off right now. Like I'm living in a house of horrors. Like I have loose wires, open plumbing, things going on here that it's just been so hard. It's been really freaking hard to just be keeping a positive mind, thinking about like it's so hard to stay motivated to do this podcast when like I don't even have a space set up. Like I have to set it up like on my bed, like with all these wires and things. Like I cannot wait to have a desk that's just there and with the mic that's hanging in the fucking wall that I don't have to travel around with my handheld mic because I want to have a nice setup. I want to be like giving quality, giving production value, but it's really hard. I'm doing my best out here. So let's jump into my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. Okay. Because I haven't had a chance to chat about this for a moment, but we've got to talk about Sally and Austin finally making out and the chaos ensuing on the Southern Charm cast. So this isn't really my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. Like I was kind of trying to bridge this still into my number 5 most talked about moment of the week and like bringing up the fact that Austin said that he would marry, fuck, kill, and then Paige was the marry. And just if I was Craig, I would actually punch Austin in the face. Like I would resort to violence. That's how much I think Austin deserves a kick in the nuts. And I think Craig is just being provoked unbelievably. And I just would love to see it. I would just love to see like a good old fashioned fist fight at the reunion. I mean, we haven't seen the trailer for the reunion yet, for the Southern Charm reunion. It's coming out, you guys. Like 3 days, we're going to get it. I cannot wait. So, yeah, I can't really count that as my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. I just wanted to tack that on to the fact that Paige, Joe, Craig, Teresa, Sally, Austin, like all a web that has been weaved. Okay, really, my number 4 most talked about moment of the week is got to be Love is Blind. The whole season, I didn't even get a chance to really talk to you guys because it went by so fast. The season premiered on March 11th, which was a few days before I got to LA. I watched basically the whole season while I was there, except for the episodes with the weddings that just came out last Wednesday. And what a wild ride Ohio was, right? So as a girl born and raised in Michigan, I have to say we don't claim Bree. Breezy's not one of us. Actually, no, she's very Michigan-y. I have to say, she was kind of a quintessential Michigan girl. Like, we all kind of have body dysmorphia and think that we're like Beyonce, and we're just like cute. We're just like cute little like gnome-looking girls. So I don't really know what our problem is, but I'm going to need Bree to get her shit together. I was so upset that her and Connor didn't even make it to the altar. Connor deserved way better, but apparently they're still together, which really bums me out because I think that Connor deserved better. And really, I really hope that at this reunion, Bree has something to say for herself and is like, that's the biggest mistake I ever did. She won't. I'm getting like narcissist vibes from her. I cannot imagine her taking any accountability at the reunion. She will just be probably glazing over everything and pretend everything's okay, and like she didn't really give Chris a chance, even though we know that she did. I'm most looking forward to Chris getting roasted at the reunion because him and Jessica, his entire Pilates girl storyline, not being attracted to a hot doctor who is smart, beautiful, and amazing and funny, and also is hot, is hot, like I said. So it wasn't even like she wasn't hot. It was just the whole situation that I think that he really wanted a girl that he could control. And I think I don't know what this social experiment does to us. I mean, this is the 11th season, I think, or something like that, where it's like we've seen some successful couples, but we've seen a lot of them tank, bomb, light on fire, blow up in our faces. So I don't know. I was just not expecting Bree and Connor not to even make it to the altar, but I guess I'm glad that she didn't waste everybody's time. Same goes for Devontae and Brittany. I mean, woof, you guys. What is up with her? Now, I actually have one friend that I find to be a little bit similar to her. We're like desperate to make this happen, to be a wife and to be a mom and to make it doesn't really matter. It literally almost as bad as like pre-buying the dress. I mean, Brittany, wow. At first I was like, okay, girl power manifestation. But then I started to think about it and I'm like, no, you just don't do that. You just don't buy a dress and be like, okay, like now I'm going to find the guy, because you should be almost getting your dress based on the vibe that you're going to have with your husband. Like he's part of it too. I don't know. I'm just really old school like that. Like I take the sanctity of marriage very seriously. I would never sign up to do a reality show where you actually get married or you're expected to get married at the end. I think that's insanity, and like you should really keep something sacred in life, but whatever, not everybody has the same values. These are just my values. So I really value that, and just in having the privacy of the family home and what goes on behind closed doors, and not airing out your dirty laundry with your family, and not airing out your dirty laundry with your partner, and not throwing your partner under the bus to the public to get favor from them. Like these are things that I would never do. So I do like to watch other people do it because it's fascinating to me. And that's why I like reality TV. But dang, Brittany, you were hard to watch, girl. Like when this man's breaking up with you, saying, okay, I can't go to the altar with you, and you're sitting there being like, it's okay, like we're still going to get married and have babies, like ASAP, like that was scary, delusional, chaotic, evil. So I really am interested to see what she's going to have to say for herself. Again, I'm not getting a lot of accountability. Like these people don't really seem to ever learn their lesson from this experiment. Like it is very rarely we get somebody up there that is showing remorse or would have done things differently. Like almost everybody stands 10 toes down. It's really a social experiment in like owning your experience, I guess. And it's the definition of my truth. Like these people love to be like, well, it's my truth. Oh my gosh, that takes me back to some of the other seasons. But Ohio was the doozy. Devontae asking for the prenup and then going out in the Honda Civic afterwards. I loved it. Even Sparkle Megan, did she ask for the prenup? I'm going back in my brain. I can't remember. Oh my gosh. Wow, wow, wow. What a good season. So we also had Mike and Emma. Now, I find it very interesting that they found a lot of these cast members for this season on LinkedIn. They went the LinkedIn route to cast Ohio. And I'm wondering if it's because men in Ohio like do not know how to use social media and they just take pictures with fish and like football and like you can't really get like personality from anybody. They all look the same. So I think they went through LinkedIn to try to get a more rounded version on some of these guys. Now we had Emma coming in with she's adopted Asian into a white Ohio American family and had birthmarks all over her body when she was born that led to her having surgeries when she was little to remove them in case they didn't become precancer, and she had a lot of trauma from that, and she does have scars. It kind of honestly what it looks like somebody saran wrapped her arm really, really tight. That's what it looks like. And just very interesting marks and burns and kind of like areas from them burning off these birthmarks on her body. So she actually worked for Abercrombie. Isn't that so interesting? For like 8 years in their merchandising department. So I thought that was really interesting. They named some of the other places these people work. I just found everything to be kind of like, it's pretty normal, basic, good companies that are, large names for places like Ohio. My college boyfriend had an internship in Ohio, in Cleveland, and we went down there for a couple of weeks or whatever. Like, it is a place where there is opportunity. So yeah, I really enjoyed Mike and Emma's entire conversation. As me being somebody that married into a Long Island Italian family, I can concur that it is traditional values. The parents are involved a lot with the kids in their decision making in their home life, and it's a very communal living type situation. Even the conversation that Mike was having with his mom and on the wedding day, and she gets mad at him because she's trying to call her and they're fighting on the phone. And she's like, "Well, you could have been nicer to me on the phone, Michael." That's literally my husband and his mom. Like, there were just so many things I was seeing. Now, luckily for me, again, I'm 38 going on 39. We don't have kids yet. We don't know if we're going to have kids because we're not God. We don't know. So we're just trying to figure out. When I married my husband, he actually told me he was not 100%, but he was leaning towards no. And that I had to be somebody that would be okay with not having kids. Now, I was okay with it because I was in my head feeling like I again have a very different lens on life. I'm also grew up in a very big family that felt overwhelmed at times. So I wasn't sure that I knew I wasn't going to have a big family, let alone a family at all. But I knew I always wanted to be married. So that was my priority. And now that we've been married for almost 2 years, we are open to having a family. So we're like figuring that out. But I understand Mike and Emma going through this and it being important and being whatever. Now, Emma is just too young, I think. Any advice I would give anyone is to never say never to anything and to just keep an open mind in life. So hers already having such a strong point of view and saying that she didn't want to have kids. I think, maybe it was, I hate to be like this, but like, maybe it was a little bit of a phase because I think when you're younger, you do kind of go through that and you're like, oh my God, expenses and this and that. I want to live my own life and I want to travel. And you kind of go through that phase where you're like, I don't want kids. But she's so young still. So she's like 27 or something. Like, girl, trust me, come back when you're 37 and let me know if you want kids or not. We'll be having a different conversation. So yeah, I really loved watching their story. I was happy that they did not ultimately say yes. Ashley and Alex, that changed his name. Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed watching them. They were weird. They were freaks. Ashley was a little bit of a freak, right? Like, remember her being mad? She was like, "Why aren't you fucking me?" I thought that was so insane. Finding out that they were both MAGA, very interesting. That was just a little extra, like, kind of perspective on their conversation. Ashley's dad, character, crazy, divorce attorney, give him 45 seasons. Ashley's mom coming in a lesbian power suit the day of the wedding. I did not see that coming. I just think that we knew that they weren't going to get married. He really is a liar, right? He's like Stacey from Potomac. Like, he can't discern one lie from the next one. He can't remember any of his own story. The mom showing up, which like never had a dad, absentee mom, and she shows up like in a, you guys know what I'm talking about, the dress that she wore that day. It was not a mother of the bride dress. It was a Forever 21, I'm going to like Wayside Wednesdays dress. Poor Alex. I understand. He's got problems. He's got issues, daddy issues and mommy issues. He's got family issues. He needs therapy. He needs probably do ayahuasca or something. Like he needs to go find himself with Shep and the boys. Like he could be on a Bravo show. Should be on Southern Charm. He got cast for the wrong show. He would fit right in with Austin and Shep and the tall boys, the tall lying boys. I'm really glad Ashley did not say yes to him at the altar, but I'm also was like low-key embarrassed. Like whenever a girl tries to have their like female empowerment moment, like I'm choosing me and I'm marrying myself today, like it's always a little bit cringe. She should have just called the wedding off. I think the producers probably were in her ear, like, girl, like just go to the altar and tell him there. But she should have done what the other people did and just ended it in the kitchen on the couch or whatever, like not taking it to the altar. But hey, Alex's mom drove her 18-wheeler in and she was at that wedding front and center to see her son in his moment of glory getting dumped at the altar. I mean, it was truly a sight for sore eyes because we all wanted to see them break up. So we enjoyed that. Now, what we didn't see coming, and which nobody saw coming, because you can tell by the looks on everyone's face in that audience, that when Jordan and Amber decide to say yes, and Jordan is like becoming Emma's stepdad, no one saw that coming. There were rumors that they actually both agreed to say no, and then at the last minute, Amber said yes, and then Jordan also freaked out and said yes, and that they were not supposed to say yes. But that was actually debunked by producers and by an interview with Amber, where she said that she was always a yes and that Jordan was the one that was always a no. So she was always a yes. And Jordan didn't say yes because she said yes, because he knew that she was going to say yes. So I think that that's good that got debunked a little bit. I'm curious to find out if they're still together. It looks like she runs off in the trailer for the reunion, but you can't tell. Like, I hate when they Franken edit. Like, watch, she'll probably be like, I'm gonna sneeze, and like run off stage or something and have it be like a red herring. I don't know if they're still together. I don't know, but I want to know. And we're going to find out because I love a reunion. And I hate a reunion with Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey. They're the worst reunion hosts ever. So remember last year they did the outdoor like live reunion in Denver and all the wind was blowing everywhere. Like, what the fuck was up with that? Who's making these decisions at Netflix? You guys need to call me. I can help you out with some of these crazy decisions. So, okay. Let's move on from Love is Blind. I hope I talked about everybody. If I didn't, they weren't important. Oh yeah, Victor and Christine. We knew they were perfect. I love them. If they're not still together, love is dead. Okay, so let's go on to my number 3 most talked about moment of the week. This is a really funny one. This is a good one. This one just for fun. It is the new RHONY reboot. Girls Get Casted and announced. Andy's been teasing for a while. We're almost done with New York. We're going to be filming New York. We're testing lots of girls. There's been rumors. And they officially finally announced that they are bringing back Jessel, which we're happy. Erin, boo, tomato. We don't really love Erin. I find her very annoying. When I went to the Bravo Fan Fest in Miami, she really freaked me out. She really hated to be there and hated the experience and did not want anything to do with Bravo fans. And I really, really don't like her. So I was not happy she's coming back, but I wasn't surprised, and I will be hate watching her. And they're also bringing back Sai, which again, I think there's more there. You gotta dig it out. Gotta dig it out of there. Because there's something deep with her husband. I know it. I've talked about my theories before. I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat back on about Sai today because we're not here to talk about her. We're here to talk about the connection between the new girls that are cast and Claudia Oshry, girl with no job from The Toast, who I hate famously. There were actually rumors that Claudia was going to be cast in the new RHONY, and I was very loud with my unhappiness about this. Letters all were received to Bravo headquarters. I was typing furiously. Please do not cast Claudia anywhere on a Bravo show. I will cry. I really don't need toasters at BravoCon. I shuddered. No, please stop. Okay, so the new girls on RHONY that got cast. We talked about the ones that are coming back, the new ones that are coming on. So we have Daisy Toye, Martha Stewart's makeup artist. I don't know how she's going to be in the mix, but I'm interested to find out. We have Erica Hammond, who is married to a billionaire with a B. His name is something, and he created a company named Built. I asked my husband if he knew about it. He said yes. So, hey, I said, well, his wife's a housewife now. That's interesting. So Erica Hammond, she also had a sick wedding in Egypt. You guys don't walk to her Instagram and go look at the videos of her wedding. Like, she looks like she's going to be a good housewife. She's also like a Peloton instructor or like works for Equinox or something. So I love a fitness baddie. I actually do. We love a wellness fitness baddie. And then the other new girl that was hired is named Haley Glassman. And everybody's talking about the fact that she was once dating, tied to, engaged something to Kate Gosselin, John Gosselin, Kate plus 8, You guys know. So Haley Glassman was tied to him. That's kind of like how she kind of came up in society a little bit, how she became known, probably how she got a lot of her following and became a little bit of a public figure, was all because of John Gosselin. And she was kind of like a little mistress that John started hanging out with after him and Kate got divorced or were separated, after the birth of their 9 children. So she's known for that. But now she's also the daughter of a plastic surgeon. And she does PR for, I believe, not just her father, but I guess other people. Like, I don't know if this is like Lindsay Hubbard. Like, she does PR basically. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Are you just an influencer? We know your dad's a plastic surgeon. So she is in New York City circles. She must know New York City influencers. And she's been sliding into DMs. And somebody that she has decided to try to contact and use her PR services for has been for Claudia Oshry. And when Haley Glassman gets announced as being one of the new housewives of New York, Claudia Oshry gets her little phone out and she's like, let me pull up some receipts, proof, timeline screenshots of Haley Glassman being in my DMs telling me that I'm fat, telling me that I have an annoying voice. Like, these were just a couple of examples of messages that Haley had sent to Claudia since 2017. So in her DMs for quite a few years. Now, I don't condone troll behavior, but actually the messages are confusing because some of them are actually, as you may or may not know, Claudia has been maybe not so open. I don't listen to her show or actually consume her content, but she's very obviously gone through an Ozempic phase and she also had a baby. So one of the messages that Haley was sending to Claudia was, wow, it's insane that you're skinnier now while you're pregnant than you were pre-pregnancy, which actually that is crazy. Now it's crazy to say that to somebody, but like that is actually an actual thought that I had before. Like, holy shit, not just with Claudia, but like Ozempic in general, it is crazy how like some girls that I know really have gotten so skinny and then gotten pregnant. And then they are smaller pregnant than they were even when they weren't pregnant before when they were. It's just crazy. It is what it is. It's not really a judgment thing. It's just, again, like an observation that goes on with people that are on Ozempic. So, like I said, I promote it. I actually love it. I think people should use it if they want to. That's what it's there for. But it's just kind of insane to me that Haley Glassman would be messaging Claudia Oshry, commenting on her body, especially because they don't know each other. Even if they did know each other, that would also be crazy. But some people just don't have a filter and some people just do take it upon themselves to say those things. So it is weird. Like, you couldn't really tell. It wasn't like she was messaging Claudia like, hey, kill yourself. She was messaging her like passive aggressive comments about her being skinny and her looking good, and except for the part about her voice being annoying, but that was in 2017. Anyways, and her voice is annoying, so whatever. Anyways, I just really enjoyed this entire thing. So an extra layer of this that is the part that I really enjoyed is that Page Six reported on this. Evan Reel and Danny Murphy from the SiriusXM Page Six show, and then also known for their virtual reality show, they commented on this. And they must know Claudia. I don't know, just from being in New York and doing press with them or something, but it's clear that like Evan was sticking up for Claudia and he was like talking really bad things about Haley Glassman, being like, I can't believe Bravo casted her. They need to fire her immediately. She's a troll. She's a body shamer. She's insane. And then Evan even said, she has the same birthday as me. And then he was like, that scares me because, if you think about birthdays, sometimes you think about like the characteristics of somebody and you're like, wow, if I have the same birthday as them, like, you're like, I hope I'm not like them, is what he was insinuating. And then he was like, oh my God, I need to know her rising and her moon sign. And then he made a joke, I think she's a Satan rising. So Evan's making all these jokes about Haley Glassman, like literally on the radio on SiriusXM. Like, this is public radio. This is not behind a paywall. And unless you consider Sirius to be a paywall, which it kind of is, I have it, so I don't consider it to be. But so he's talking all of this shit about it. He's like, Andy, if I see you at the urinal, I'm going to tell you to fire her. Like, he was riding hard to get rid of Haley Glassman. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, which I saw that whole interaction go down and I was laughing so hard at that video and like Evan crashing out about it. I was really thought it was so funny. Even though I don't like Claudia, like I loved that video. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, he's like, I have to issue an apology to Haley Glassman. And he's back on his show and he's apologizing to her, saying that he needs to give her a chance. There's a reason why she's been cast, and that maybe some of the texts were taken out of context, and that maybe she actually is a fan of Claudia and she wasn't trying to troll, and that things were just taken the wrong way. And I was dying, you guys. Like, there's something, I love Evan. I've met him before. You know, he probably thinks I'm so annoying because I comment on every single one of their videos, but I can't help it. I just love their content. And this whole thing of her getting cast, her getting announced, Claudia posting the screenshots, Evan responding, Evan posting the apology. It is hilarious in peak NYC influencer snark. It's so fucking good. I was eating up every second of it. I like need to have more layers to this. I need Evan to give us like a weekly update on his conversations that are going on behind the scenes with Haley Glassman and with Andy. I need to know if Andy forced him to issue this apology. It's giving Joel Kim Booster in Shannon Bador after Love Hotel when Joel had to apologize. I'm like, baby, don't apologize us for just telling us the truth. Like, you have nothing to apologize for, honey. Thank you for your service. Loved it. Loved that whole moment. I can't wait to find out about this girl. It fucking worked. I'll tell you why. I'm watching Haley Glassman now. I did not care any bit about this girl until Evan created this controversy. So good job, Evan. Thank you again for doing the Lord's work. Okay, let's move on to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. It's that Rob Roush won the Traders, fucked over Maura, and then bought her a Birkin. And that there's claims that the Birkin was free and that Lisa Rinna, we don't know. We don't exactly know how much the Birkin cost. So we know what the retail of it was, and we know how much allegedly it would retail for, but we don't actually have a receipt to see Rob handing over $23,000 to this store in Manhattan, this consignment or whatever that gave him this rare Birkin that was burgundy that Maura wanted. So we all saw the end of Traders. I actually got very scared during the finale. I was like, holy shit, like, is Rob about to lose? Like, is Maura about to awaken in this last episode? Because Tara was really working her to open her eyes to Rob being the traitor. And it just wasn't happening. Maura was just, she thought she was winning. She had her eyes literally on the prize, which was about $100,000, maybe even after taxes, like 90 some, 80 some. Either way, that's what she wanted. And she just knew if she stuck with Rob and did whatever he said, she was going to get that. And in the end, she literally got 0. But thank God Rob felt bad enough. And he is such a good person, because he also could have been like, fuck you, it's a game. Like, you're not getting shit from me. But he immediately agreed when they went on Watch What Happens Live or what? No, wait, when did he say that she was going to get the Birkin? Was that at the reunion? Yes, when they aired the reunion right after the finale, and she was talking about getting the Birkin, and Rob was like, okay, I'm going to get you it. And we know that he technically won $220,000, but again, after taxes, it might be like 185 or something. And then he gave her the Birkin, which was like 23,000's worth. And I say this in quotations because we don't really know. Like, did this store, because this is a huge platform, did this luxury store that got this Birkin, that got all this press for this, just like give a discount? Did they get, is it borrowed? Is it, no, I don't think it's borrowed. I don't know. I just feel like something's up with the Birkin. I'm going to just try to like suspend my disbelief about the Birkin. But I really hope it was legit. I hope it was everything that Maura wanted. I do hope that she's at peace with it, because she did take a lot of heat. Like, my husband was like, Maura's a fucking dumbass. And I'm like, I understand that. And I felt really bad. Like, I actually told him to stop. Like, he was going on Twitter reading me all these mean texts people were saying about her. People were eating her up. I felt so bad. I do not condone the trolling of Maura. Like, I think when she got cast on this show, although I think it should be a requirement, I don't think that you can force them to watch it. Just like anybody else on Bravo, right? Jax famously, Amanda Francis now is being added to this. Like, there are people that don't watch the show back, or only watch their scenes, kind of like how Sheena did. And so they don't really understand the context of the show and like everything that's going on, because they're not watching it back. They're not getting feedback. They're not seeing themselves back, which is so important for growth. It's just a reality TV thing. But I don't know. There's a lot that goes on in these shows, and I really enjoyed Rob being a traitor. I really enjoyed the entertainment value that Traders brings us. I'm really disappointed that people are now saying, oh, we don't want to have housewives on Traders anymore because it's ruining it, or we only want to have like civilians ones and we don't want to do celebrity ones. Like, I think that it's fair to do it. It's an advantage, but it's like a part of life socially. And like in the game of life, you're going to have alliances and you're going to have friendships and you're going to have opportunities and you're going to have things that are going to give you different advantages in the game of life. So I don't think that it should be a disadvantage for some of these people to come in and have these strong fandoms and like just legendary alliances going on, like the housewives. So, and the gamers are doing the same thing. I don't know. I don't know how they would change the casting for traders next season to like make it better necessarily, but I really enjoyed this season and I'm really happy Mora got her Birkin. So, okay, you guys, that brings us already to my number one most talked about moment of the week. And it's something that has truly, it is, I would say, Scandival 2.0 at this point. It's like, I don't even have the right name for it because do we call it Amanda Gate? Do we call it Westgate? I kind of like Westgate because it's like Westgate Properties. If you guys know, you know, because I'm talking about Jackie Siegel and David Siegel, which are Bravo legends from Below Deck and from the Queen of Versailles. Westgate is kind of funny. Amanda Westgate. I don't know what it is, but apparently Dumois is confirming the fact that Amanda and West are truly having an affair, a sordid love affair, holding hands under tables. They're spending time together in friend groups and then potentially hanging back afterwards, just one-on-one. We just don't know, you guys. We're just not 100% sure what's going on. There's reports to Dumois. There's reports to Page 6. There's Sierra and West being seen together in public today. People are thinking that they got together so that she could ask him to his face if what's going on with Amanda is true. There's just been like several conflicting reports. Somebody was saying that Amanda was hooking up with West's friend, and that's why. Does West have a roommate and she's staying over at West's place, so it looks like she's staying there? I don't know, you guys. But I was very, very skeptical of the Kyle and Amanda split. And the fact that this is going on, this is kind of showing me. Now, do I actually think Amanda and West hooked up? No, I don't. But I do have to like say that this isn't the craziest thing ever. If it were to happen, not in this friend group, take Bravo out of the equation is what I'm trying to say, because I had exes, in my 20s and stuff that had hot friends. And when I stopped seeing the friend, or when I stopped seeing like my boyfriend, or we would break up, like I did hook up with some of those friends. Don't tell anybody. So it is like not that crazy to think like there is not a loyalty, and there's really the bros, they're not really broing like you think they are. They're not bro coding like they think they are. It's a lot of talk because all of those guys would always be hitting me up after like hangouts and stuff. And I would be like, it's so crazy. You're like literally best friends with him, but whatever. Sometimes you just do things like that when you're young, and Amanda might just be in this post relationship thing. Like, I think until she's legally divorced, she shouldn't be being this messy. I'm a little bit of a Kyle Richards. Like my friends are going through these things. I'm like, girl, keep your side of the street clean. Like, don't add fuel to the fire. And I know that might not be the best thing to say, but you don't see Kyle out there being that messy. Like, there were those weird rumors about Sally, but I don't know if that was ever confirmed. I just don't see Kyle really. People try to make this argument that they're like, yeah, but Kyle's been doing that the whole time. Like, Dumois has been out there posting Kyle's been cheating for years. So we don't really know the truth, but I know that Amanda's a little bit grimy for this. And if it ends up being true, Sierra, I am expecting World War III with Sierra. And if it's not, and Amanda and somehow they kind of like have a weird blessing or something, it's just all fake bullshit then. Because Sierra, in the right state of mind, should be really pissed about this. She should not be happy that a girl that she's been supporting, Amanda, through all of her trials and tribulations and her marriage and her whatever, is now going to go. And what's up with this group? This group gives it's a Bravo thing. They all hook up and are incestuous, and they can't move on from the group and the friend groups. It's weird. Even when Katie and Schwartz got divorced and she hooked up with Max afterwards, that was crazy. Schwartz and Max are friends. That was insane that Katie hooked up with Max. I don't know. The friend groups and the delusions that go on in these circles, it's really crazy. So I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on the Amanda Westgate situation. I don't know what to think. Anything is possible. I actually was not somebody who was like, oh my God, that would never happen when I heard about Scandival. Like I did believe, and I did totally, especially when the proof of going back, looking at Rachel Raquel wearing the Tom Tom sweatshirt and like being a slut around, running around New York City. Oh my gosh, those were the days. So I don't think we're getting quite that. If we got a confirmation, then it's a Scandival 2.0. If we got the confirmation, what if, let's have a little fanfic moment before we end the show. What if Amanda and Wes were hooking up last summer and then it came out and Amanda was Amanda somehow confessed this, or West confessed this, or something. Say West, we're fanficking. Say West and Sierra, when they met up today, West confessed to Sierra. We actually started hooking up last summer before Amanda and Kyle got divorced. And then now we get to go back and watch last summer and see all the interactions between West and Amanda and like piece it together like we do at Scandival. Now that would be good. We're not getting that, you guys. I'm getting such a fake news from this, and it's so annoying that nobody's confirming, nobody's denying. And they're just allowing everybody to fucking type away on their computers about this. It's really, truly annoying. So me and my $65 Erewhon hat are going to get going. I really appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, again, my depression, my content creation, my writer's block, everything has been so bad lately. And I'm really trying to push through and get my space created here so that I can have the time, the space, the just energy around this to give you guys the best content I can possibly give you. So thank you for being here and letting me vent with you. Thank you for being here and listening, counting down reality TV's most talked about moments. Thank you so much for supporting the show, rating, reviewing, sharing. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for new episodes coming. I have some of the people that I just mentioned coming on the show soon, and we're going full steam ahead with Bella Talks TV, you guys, and Bella Talks Bravo, my bonus episodes. Okay, thank you. Go rate, review. I love you. Ciao, Bellas.